cuatro, cinco, seis.
Hello! Hello, dumpsters. What's up? Dumpy dumps.
Dumpy dumps.
My dumpy dump, little dumps.
My dumps.
My dumps. My lovely lady dumps. It's like poops. It's like my shits. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the pod. It's your girl, Ren.
And your other girl,
Stump. I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah.
I think it's been like almost a month now.
We were supposed to record like a week ago.
And Annie forgot. We had plans for her to come over to my place at 11, and it was like 12, and I was like, hey, Annie, did you forget? And she's like, oh, yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's okay. We're here this time.
It was almost a purposeful forget, because I kind of didn't want to.
You could have just said that.
But, I did forget, but it's almost like I willed myself to forget.
Okay, cool. We should do it at my place next time, because you haven't seen Sugar in a long time.
I know, I miss her. And Perry's not even here.
Sugar's my kitty cat.
Perry's my
She used to live with our family, so she was our family cat. But now she lives with me and Nathan.
She's technically mine, and Lauren stole her like a little bitch.
No. But anyway, today is one of the most anticipated episodes we've done in a while. I know our diehard fans are very excited about this episode.
Drum roll!
Because they already know what we're doing. I wrote a fanfiction. But we're going to be reading two different fanfictions this time. One of which I wrote. The other of which
I wrote. Like the Bill of Rights.
Yes, but I didn't write the Bill of Rights. I wrote a really bad fanfiction.
Same thing.
The other one I found on the internet, and I would like to say, I don't think I did
Hamilton fanfiction?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think Hamilton is fanfiction. Okay, so one of them is Hamilton. We're reading the entirety of Hamilton. The other one I wrote, and you're going to have to guess which one.
Lauren is actually Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yep.
You haven't seen our faces while we're recording before, so you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
She could be Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I am not throwing away my shot.
Perfect. Flawless.
That was me. I did that. The original one.
Oh, I thought you played a recording.
So I know it sounded like it. It was very convincing.
So realistic.
Anyway, Hamilton is fanfiction. But no, we're going to be... Oh, I was saying that out of both tasks that I had, one of which was to write a fanfiction, the other of which was to find one that sounds believably like I could have written it, finding one that sounds like anyone would believe that I wrote that was way harder, actually.
Well, a lot of them have, very bad grammar and spelling, and those are things that you're pretty serious about, so...
I purposefully wrote mine with bad grammar and spelling, but it's hard. It's kind of hard to write with bad grammar. Putting in some typos and spelling mistakes, easy. Purposefully writing a sentence that's grammatically incorrect is actually hard to do. It's weird. When it's, second nature to you to just, write correctly, it is kind of hard. And I think that it's going to be really obvious. I don't think I did a very good job at hiding it, but I still think it'll be fun to read them, so whatever.
Alrighty. What are these two fan fictions about?
So, one of them involves Danny Gonzalez and Drew Gooden.
That's lovely.
Featuring Curtis Connor.
Oh, lovely, of course.
Why not? Our audience doesn't know who those people are. Then
you're stupid.
They're my favorite YouTubers. And, but I know that Annie has watched some of their videos and knows who they are. And I know who they are, so I thought that would be a good pick. But I don't know if everyone else listening knows who they are, so sorry. The other one is about Ariana Grande and SpongeBob, which is pretty funny for the times, considering she's dating SpongeBob.
Did you see she addressed the situation?
The yes and stuff? Or what?
Well, all the criticism she got for being a homewrecker.
Oh, well...
She was just the tendency for the tabloids to just rip people apart. And I'm like, are you going to take any bit of responsibility for what you did?
I don't know about that, girl.
Maybe you actually deserved the hate, sweetheart.
Anyway, so that one... And that one's featuring Pete Davidson also.
Oh, lovely. Of course.
So those are the two that we've got. I want you to, put forward your guesses now based off of who they're about, which one you think I wrote.
I'm going to guess Ariana Grande and SpongeBob.
Okay.
Could go either way, though.
Here's the thing.
Sure.
I want I want me to read one and I want you to read one. But okay. I don't know in my head if it would be better for me to read my own or if it would be better for me to read the one I didn't. Like, I don't know.
Pick.
I don't know which would be more telling. Well, I wrote the names of them on papers.
Okay.
Because I honestly don't know which way would be better. But, because I can't have you pick now because you already have a predetermined guess in your head. You already think you know which one is mine. So, that would sway your decision too.
I really just took a random guess. But.
So, anyway, I wrote the names of them on these 2 papers, and I have them behind my back. I'm just going to have Annie pick a hand, and then, yeah. Okay, pick a hand.
Left.
Yeah. I messed up my left and right. All right. Which one did you get?
Bikini bottoming? That's what it's called?
Yes. Okay, then I have House of Gold. Okay, so I don't know who should go first. You can pick who goes first.
You go first.
Okay. Yours is obviously the SpongeBob one.
Bikini bottoming sounds like you to me.
I'll accept that because I think that's hilarious. So I'm okay with you thinking that. Okay, so I had to put both of these into Google Docs and make the formatting exactly the same so you can't tell the writing. So you said you want to go first?
I said you're
gonna go first. I'm gonna go first. Okay. This is called I can't do this. Sorry. This is called House of Gold. It's Danny Gonzalez x Drew Gooden. And I'm gonna move the laptop closer to me so I can read. Annie's gonna read along with me. But I'm gonna be the one reading it out loud. Okay. Oh, and then we have to agree as we read them, any typos or grammar errors, read it as written. Okay. Yes, because that's very important, I think, for bad fan fiction. All right, part 1. I can't do this.
Oh my gosh, just go.
I'm sorry. Okay. Danny looked at the apartment where his best friend and crush of 3 years waited. He saw him in the window and he waved at him, and his heart started beating too fast. He opened the door.
You didn't read the typo.
That's it. Too fast. He opened the door.
You said 2.
Well, yeah. He started beating too fast. Sorry. He opened the door.
It should have been 2.
Shut the fuck up. This is going to take us forever.
Sorry.
Hey, silly, get in, said, and then gulped Shut up. We have to get through this.
Sorry.
Hey, silly, get in, said, and then gulped and pulled his luggage into the house. Drew hugged him. I've been so lonely since Amanda went missing in Afghanistan. Amanda is Drew's wife. That's so brave of her. She loved you. Drew stared at him for a minute. Yeah, let's get you settled in. And then he helped him in his room. It's a 1-bedroom place, so you'll have to share a room with me. He smiled at him. It'll be like a sleepover. Totally. Then there was a knock at the door, and Danny followed Drew to the door, where they found a boy with long brown hair and big eyes waving. Hi, said Drew. Hi, he said, flipping his hair back, revealing his badass studded belt around his black jeans and black top, and had sleeves to his middle arm and skull earrings and black makeup.
Oh, that was a perfectly constructed sentence.
I'm your neighbor, Curtis, he said happily.
Curtis.
Actually, there's no comma, so it's just, I'm your neighbor, Curtis.
Curtis is here?
Curtis. Get the fuck out of here. That's basically this interaction. Curtis is coming to meet Drew, and Danny's like, get the fuck out. He's my crush of 3 years. I'm your neighbor, Curtis, he said happily. They both shook hands. Oh, both shook his hands. If you need anything, come on over, he said, and then left. He was nice, said Danny. And pretty cute, said Drew. And Danny felt a pain in his heart. He always wondered if he was bi because of how he flirted with him sometimes on Skype. He didn't know if he would tell him he is gay and is in love with him. Then Drew gave him a sweet smile, and he felt warm again. Part 2. Part 2.
How long is this?
I think it's like 3 or 4 pages. They're both pretty long. I mean, we had to fill a whole hour with only 2 fanfics.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. Keep going.
Anyway, I'll read fast. Drew made a drink for him and Danny and sat at a couch and drank beer. They turned on a movie and watched some funny TV shows and drank all night until it was 7 a.m.
All nights.
All nights. I thought I said that. Okay, whatever. And drank all nights. It's hard to read bad. Your brain wants to automatically correct things. Like, you won't notice the mistakes sometimes. Sorry. It was 7 a.m. the next morning. Whatever. Drew pointed at the rising sun. Hey, Dan, look. He laughed, drunk. Dan stumbled over, but tripped and fell right into Drew's arms. Sorry, I had to swallow. Suddenly, they were staring into each other's eyes. Their faces started inching, with a T, inching, closer and closer, when suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Drew blushed and let go of the embrace and went to the door. Hello? He asked as he opened the door. Then there were two guys in black ski masks, and they grabbed Drew and threw him down the apartment stairs and ran off. They kidnapped him! Danny tried to run after their white van, but couldn't run as fast as the car. He called the cops and cried in the apartment. Then suddenly he got a message on YouTube that said, if you want to see him alive again, make a video about 10 reasons why the Paul brothers are awesome and you're wrong. Gasped.
They kidnapped him! That's my favorite part so far.
They kidnapped him. Part 3. There was a knock at the door. Danny went over to it and gasped, Logan Paul! Meanwhile, somewhere in Costa Rica, Drew had a bag on his head and he was getting punched hard. Let me go. Sorry. And he was getting punched hard. Let me go. I never got to tell Danny I love him. Well, in that case, then he was shoved into a van and they started driving. Danny made tea for Logan, and him and Logan looked at... Oh my gosh. Made tea for Logan? Oh my gosh. Danny made tea for Logan and him, and Logan looked at him sweetly.
No punctuation in that sentence.
I'm so sorry. The Team 10 will help you find him. I almost kissed him before he... It's okay. He touched his hand. They looked sweet at each other. I'm always here for you. Logan leaned in and kissed Danny lightly on the lips, and in a moment of desire and desperate, he pulled Logan close and kissed him harder. They started making out, and Logan got on Danny and started rubbing on him.
Oh, dear.
They made out and wiggled around the couch until Danny broke away.
They just wiggled.
I can't. Drew. Oh, but he was a loser. Go, Logan. Go away. And he grunted and left mad. Danny went to his room to cry. Part 4. The door slowly... I kind of wish we read this one second. Oh well. Part 4. The door slowly opened and Drew limped into the apartment and fell on the floor. Danny, he said hoarsely. Like a horse, not hoarsely with an A. Danny, he said hoarsely. Danny stopped. Danny stopped crying and ran out and gasped, Drew! And he ran to pick him up and helped him stand. Drew grabbed him and hugged him tight and sudden. His lips started touching his and they kissed. Their tongues meshed and their lips entwined and they made out right there. When they stopped, they smiled at each other. Be my boyfriend? Said Danny. Yes. And they smiled and kissed again. But I have to tell you, Drew, before you came back, Logan was here and we made out. Logan Paul? He roared. Logan Paul! He roared. I'm sorry. Drew started crying and ran down the stairs. Then Curtis looked Drew's way.
Where did Curtis come from?
Well, he ran down and so Curtis is like the neighbor.
So we're following Drew.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was obvious.
Well, we were following Danny before. So
Shush. Okay. Sometimes things get mixed up. Then
really
Curtis, stop. Let me read.
Yours.
Then Curtis looked Drew's way, saw that he was running, and then came in. Danny was crying and told Kurt that what was going on. You should do something... Now we're following Danny. You should do something romantic to show your story, and that he is your one and only. You're right. He wiped the tears off, and Curtis grabbed a camera and started recording. Danny looked sourly to the camera with love in his eyes.
What?
Hi, Greggs. Today I finally told Drew... Hi, Greggs.
He doesn't say Greggs. He just says Greg.
Okay, well, maybe it was a typo. Well, I finally told Drew.
Just keep going.
Fine, no, I'll take it. I'll erase it.
What? You can't
Hi, Greg.
edit someone else's fan fiction.
Hi, Greg. Today I finally told Drew I love him, like I said I would. But before that, someone else...
He told Greg that he was going to tell Drew he loves him and put it on the internet.
Yeah. So, Drew doesn't follow him. He's not a Greg, so it's fine. Also, if you guys don't know Danny Gonzalez, he calls his fan base Greg. So that's why it says that. Anyway, but before that, someone else came over and I kissed them. I love you, Drew, and it will never happen again. You are my light and joy, and I would be proud to be your husband, he said softly. Then Curtis whipped a tear from his face and and sniffled, then turned off the camera. That was amazing. I'm sure he will say yes. It's true love, he said. Part 5. Meanwhile, in Chicago.
Okay. Okay.
Meanwhile, in Chicago.
Too easy. For our audio listeners and all of our listeners, that was a dead giveaway that Lauren wrote this.
Stop. No, not necessarily.
Lauren loves calling Chicago Chicago.
And not just me. Annie and I both call it Chicago. When we were in Chicago last year, we kept calling it Chicago, Indiana, and we thought we were being so funny. But that's irrelevant.
You went in and inserted some typos to the other person.
I will tell you, the one that I didn't write, I did edit a little bit, but all I did was change one of the characters. I didn't change any, typing or spelling or anything, so.
Alright. Anyways, you wrote this one. It's pretty clear.
Anyway, meanwhile in Chicago, Drew was at a sushi restaurant when someone sat beside him. Drew Gooden, he said. He looked up. Jake Paul? He almost flinched.
Why?
Almost flinched, so he didn't. He just almost flinched. How do you, anyway. Yeah, I heard you and Danny had a rough thing happen. Then he posted this, and he pulled out his phone and went to a video and opened it to let Drew watch. Danny was looking at the camera, intense, and started talking. Today, I finally told Drew it will never happen again. I'll never kiss him again. I'm with someone else. And then there was a sniffled sound, and someone was behind the camera? Drew started to cry silently, but tried to look together. So, they edited the video to make it look like he said
get it.
Okay. Anyway, let me buy you a drink. And Jake ordered soju, an Asian drink. They started drinking... never mind. They started drinking and talking and laughing and having a good time. Maybe I was wrong about you, Jake, said Drew. Jake put his arm around him confrontingly. Of course, baby. They both drunkenly left the bar and stumbled to the hotel room Jake was staying in. Jake started kissing him and pushing him to the bed, and they made out there. Then they started doing it. But Drew didn't know about the camera. It was being live streamed. I love you, Jake.
Why are the Paul brothers here? Can they get out, please? I don't feel like they belong.
Oh, man.
Also, Danny... Oh, no, this is Drew this time. So
yeah, so Danny was with Logan and Drew's with Jake.
Oh.
And Curtis is like, oh, you guys.
I can't keep track of, who we're looking at.
It's not very clear. Anyway, I love you, Jake, cried Drew on the stream. Danny and Curtis watched, shocked and dumbfounded as they watched. Curtis looked at Danny, then back at the video. How could he? Danny stormed around the house. Curtis tried to call him down. But Danny opened the window and jumped. Curtis screamed and called 911.
What?
Yeah. Part 6. Drew, what?
It's just the start of part 6.
Drew woke up with a hangover and threw up. Then he heard his phone ring and he picked it up. It was Curtis yelling I to the phone. It's supposed to be into the phone. The phone and calling him.
You know what it's supposed to be.
Because it's pretty obvious.
Did you write it?
No, it's pretty obvious. It was Curtis yelling I to the phone and calling him shit for what he did to Danny. What? Said Drew. He said he found someone else. What? No, he didn't. I'm sending you the video he made for you. Then she hung up and he got the notification for it. He opened it and his lover, I was about to say lover because I'm an idiot and I couldn't read, and his lover.
Idiot.
Anyway, he opened it and his lover spoke words of love right from the heart. He spun around and glared at Jake. You liar, he screamed. Then he threw his phone at Jake and ran out. Meanwhile, in the suicide hospital, Danny was sitting in a chair watching a TV show when a nurse said, "You have a guest." He expected Curtis again with some McDonald's or something, but instead, Drew. He flinched. What do you want, traitor?
He flinched this time.
Well, Danny does. Drew almost does.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want, traitor? He hissed at him. Jake lied to me. He made me think you moved on, and I slept with him. Are we even? Can we be together? If you can forgive me. I do. Forgive me? Yes. Then they embraced and kissed. Danny pulled away and knelt down and pulled a box out. I was going to do this somewhere better, but... Will you marry me? Drew cried happy tears and nodded, and they made out again. Let's get you out of here, said Drew, and they left holding hands. The end.
That was really something.
What are your thoughts out of 10?
Oh. I think it's solid 9.
That's awesome.
Kidding.
Oh. Well, rude. Okay. Anyway.
Rude to the person who wrote this fanfiction.
Right, who was not me. Well, it could have been me, but it maybe wasn't me.
You're such a dumb.
Alright, you read the next one.
Okay.
This one is called Bikini Bottoming between Ariana Grande and SpongeBob SquarePants.
Well, starting off strong with this one.
This one's parts have titles. The other one didn't have titles for the parts.
Alrighty. Sorry. Part 1. The end.
Oh wow, it's over. So which one do you think I wrote?
No, the name of part 1 is The End, apparently. It doesn't work like that, she said to him as he tried undoing her bra. Jesus, Ari, I'm not the inventor of bras. It's not like, always know how to work them. Pete Davidson, the comedian, and her boyfriend said, exhausted from trying to get it off.
Trying to, get it off or trying to get the bra off?
The bra,
Exhausted from trying to get his rocks off.
Okay.
Sorry.
Things had been different between them recently, and Ariana wasn't sure why. I can just take it off myself, weirdo. Why didn't you just ask, she said. She said it meaner than she wanted to. The frustration came out of her uncontrollably like a waterfall. She knew was too harsh, but she felt like she couldn't contain it. It wasn't, with the apostrophe at the end, just about the bra.
Because it's plural and possessive.
Sure. She could tell he didn't like her as much as he used to.
Oh.
She thought about asking him why he was not being as normal with her as he used to be, but she decided it wouldn't be
You're not being
worth
as
it.
normal with me as you used to be.
And they should just have sex like they planned originally. Sorry I couldn't get it, he said, clearly sad that she lashed out at him. No, Peter. Why is she calling him Peter?
No, Peter.
Be kind to yourself. Why don't you show me what you are good at? Ooh,
Whoa.
she said slyly. He knew what she meant. Sorry, I can't do this.
I know, when you pulled this one, I was like, this one's actually more sexual, I think, so I'll have fun with that.
He grabbed a condom from behind her, where he had put it
No, from
earlier.
behind him.
Oh, from behind
From behind her. He placed a condom behind her.
Well, directly under it on the next line it says her,
Oh.
so I think that's where my mind
From behind him,
got
where
messed
he
up.
had put it earlier.
Where he had put it earlier. Put on the condom. That's the whole sentence.
like they're now telling the audience. Put on the condom.
Grabbed her and lifted her to put inside her.
Oh my gosh, this is so bad. Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Keep going. Yeah, the next sentence is great. You'll really want to read that. I can read it if you want.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
They fucked and humped and moaned until both of them could come, and both were satisfied with it.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Let's go to Taco Bell. Real, said Pete.
Doesn't he have like a Taco Bell brand deal with them? He does their ads.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
They have really good breakfast boxes. Right? Okay, subtle plug. Ariana Grande agreed because it was morning.
I love when fanfiction writers.
Perfect time for breakfast.
I love when fanfiction writers suddenly use full names out of nowhere. Ariana Grande agreed.
Ariana Grande agreed because it was morning. The perfect time for breakfast. And she liked Taco Bell. The punctuation is just a disaster. And she liked Taco Bell.
In both of
full
them.
Sentence.
It's
Even though everyone told her to starve herself, and she did. They pulled into the drive-thru and ordered. We are never getting through this.
Sorry. I think this one's shorter than the other one.
OMG, are you Pete Davidson? Said the drive-thru employee working at the drive-thru.
Keep going.
Oh my gosh. Ariana was surprised that the employee noticed his voice. She was used to being the one who was noticed most of the time. Ugh, asshole. Yeah, I'm Pete.
It's a story, chill. It's not like Ariana Grande wrote this herself.
She might as well have. Yeah, I'm Pete, said Pete. Can I ask you a question? Why are you dating that girl? The little one? I think you seem better than her. I know it's not my place, but I've thought about it for a while. And never had the chance to tell you. But I love your jokes, and I'm sorry about your dad, by the way. Said the employee.
For those of you who don't know, this is, okay, moment of realness. Pete Davidson's dad died in 9/11. So there's that. Keep going. And he does make jokes about it a lot. He'll make 9/11 jokes a lot, so.
Ariana wanted to cry. They pulled into the window and got the food. The employee saw Ariana Grande in the truck and her face went white. Oh my God, said the Taco Bell girl. I don't want to hear it, said the pop star. She was mostly mad Pete didn't stand up for her. They got home and Ariana could... Oh, we're done with that, okay. They got home and Ariana couldn't stop thinking about it.
Couldn't stop thinking it.
Oh, no. See, your brain just autofills shit. Okay.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
How did he not stand for her? How did he say nothing? None of those are phrases questions. Also, they have periods. How is he okay being
How did he not stand for her? How did he say nothing? That's not a question. Anyway.
That's it, said Ariana, with 2 N's. What? Said Pete Davidson. Things are bad with us, and you're toxic, TBH, she said. she voiced TBH.
I guess so.
She said, with steam coming from her ears. Ooh, wow. That's intense.
Like, literally or metaphorically?
It says it as if it's quite literal. Okay. Oh my God, I knew you were going to be so dramatic. Is this about the bra?
Sorry, I keep coughing.
To yell at her.
He almost tried to yell
at her.
This is like he almost flinched. He almost tried to yell at her.
Oh my God, you're a fucking idiot. I can't fucking believe you. No, it isn't the bra, it's what the girl... Also, they almost never include apostrophes where they're supposed to be. What the girl said and everything else. You don't treat me how you used to. We're breaking up. She threw... Wrong through the boxes in his face, covering him in beef and cheese and Baja Blessy. He kind of likes it. Then she walked away, out of his life forever. To be continued.
Ooh.
Part 2. It was all yellow. Okay, hold on. I need a second. I've been laughing so hard I'm giving myself a headache.
Do you want me to read part 2?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We just need to take it down.
I know, this episode is going to be just tons of laughing. Sorry. It's so funny, though. Okay.
It was 2 months later, and Ariana, again with 2 N's, Grande, has never been that long before. What? She was so lonely and she wanted to date someone new.
Maybe, like, single that long before.
I guess. She was frustrated she couldn't just get onto a dating app. And everyone think she was a catfish. How does Taylor, E.R., Swift, always do it? She always has someone new, so...
This is a mess!
K-N-E-W, new. So fast. She was jealous. And Pete was with Kim Kardashian? What was she gonna do? Date Kanye. That's not a question. It says date Kanye.
It's like she had a realization. What was she gonna do? Date Kanye. No thanks.
She felt like giving up until she met him.
Ooh. I wonder who him is.
Tuesday, the petite pop star was getting out of bed to go get the Hailey Bieber smoothie from Erewhon. She walked down the sidewalk mad at herself because she didn't bring her umbrella. Her ponytail was getting wet and sticking to her back. Her makeup was starting to drip off. People could almost tell she's secretly white.
I can tell. Oh, never mind. I'll say it after. Oh, man. That's good. Okay.
Ha 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 ha. She heard a nasally laugh behind her.
No, I think it's supposed to be... Yeah.
She thought she had been walking alone. She was wrong. She turned around. He saw him. So many individual sentences. Oh my gosh.
Like short statements or like the whole sentences.
Short, yellow, spongy.
Also a whole sentence.
He was on the phone. She instantly knew he had to be the next one for her. Just then a car drove by and splashed so much water on her, she was wet. Oh, barnacles, the mystery man exclaimed. Exclaimed. Just exclaimed. Okay. He hung up his phone and ran to her and gave his umbrella. Why was he using an umbrella?
Also, how is the umbrella going to help her now after she got splashed with by the car?
She won't.
I mean, I guess it's still raining. Yeah, okay, fine.
She took it and introduced herself, feeling silly, obviously. He knew... See, there's punctuation where there shouldn't be punctuation, and not punctuation where there should be.
Oh my gosh, I'm laughing so hard.
He knew who she was already. Nice to meet you, Ariana. He pronounced it wrong. Nice to meet you, Ariana. Oh my god, did he not, like, K-O or K-N-O-T, know who she is? How is that possible? I have 150 million Instagram followers.
How is it possible he doesn't know who she is? I have 150 million Instagram followers. Like, it's suddenly first person.
No idea.
Also, does she even have that many?
I don't know. Probably.
I don't know.
She corrected his pronunciation and he apologized. What's your name? He asked. She asked him, sorry. Well, I'm SpongeBob. SpongeBob SquarePants. Isn't it a beautiful day? He said so cheery.
Raining.
The happiest man she ever met. He's a sponge. Really refreshing from being with Pete, who was always negative and bleak. After that, they were inseparable. She took him to Erewhon, and he took her to his pineapple.
It sounds like it's a euphemism, but, like, it's not.
Ariana had never been this happy, and SpongeBob either. After being on a few dates and seeing each other every day for weeks, they thought they should take it to the next level, to be continue. Part 3, exploring his holes.
I'm sorry you have to read this.
I need a second.
I've been coughing so much and I'm so sorry.
I've been real sniffly.
That is a horrible thing to have to listen to on a podcast. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, guys.
At least the content is pretty funny.
True. Oh gosh, I skipped ahead a little bit with my eyes.
Oh, don't.
Just like that, Ariana said to him as he removed her bra.
Ooh.
It was nice to see he knew how to do it, unlike someone she knows. Oh, I wonder if she's talking about.
I think Pete Davidson.
Oh.
The comedian and her boyfriend.
The comedian and her ex-boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, true.
She turned around to look at him, worried he would be disappointed at how small her boobs are, but he was just excited to grab them. She leapt forward onto him. She leapt. Okay. I was thinking, maybe you could be on the bottom. I got something I want to try, but every man, nay, boy I've been with was too much of a pussy to try it. What is happening? Okay. I don't know. Oh boy, said the Bob. He was actually scared, but didn't want to tell her. She turned around and grabbed a toolbox. Oh dear. When she opened it, it was like a gold light coming out of it, shining on her face. She pulled out a strap with a large phallic member strapped to it. He knew what it was for. I have roommates.
I'm sorry. It's not my fault.
Yikes, he said. That's not a jellyfishing net. He joked to ease the tension. He turned over for her to put it in.
You can just, like, hold the microphone close to you if you want to talk quieter.
Okay. He felt the entire length of it enter all at once.
Oh my gosh, now it's like ASMR. It's horrible.
Luckily, he was spongy.
Oh.
So it went in easy. She wasn't easy on him.
So was it easy or not easy? It went in easy. She wasn't easy.
Who knows? He could tell she wanted to do this for a while. God, I never want to stop, she said, her word turning into one word, a moan. You feel so good. It's not your dick. Oh, SpongeBob points this out. Okay. But it's a stap? How can you feel me? His words quivered while she pounded inside his weak, frail body.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
I hate you so much.
You pulled this one.
wasn't a choice. Okay.
Sorry.
This is a magic strap. I thought I told you. Now shut up and be a good boy. She slapped his ass and he let out a spongy squeak. They did it until the sun came up. Every position, holding each other, spooning each other, humping each other, grabbing each other, caressing each other. They didn't stop until the sun came up. You already said that. Ariana rolled over and saw the Bob sleeping finally.
The Bob. I love the Bob. That's so funny to me.
He was so cute when he slept. She wanted to sleep too. Long night. There's a comma between two and long.
I don't even know what that means. She wanted to sleep too. Long night. Or just like a long night. Like she had a long night?
Who knows? But she wanted to sleep too. Long night.
Oh.
I guess.
No, I knew that actually because I wrote this, so I already knew that.
Oh. Yes.
Well, maybe I didn't.
She knew she had to make a call. Hello? She heard Pete Davidson's voice at the other end. Hello, Peter. What are you, Doc Ock? Sorry.
Peter. And so, in my head, I read that like the Family Guy.
I read
Hello,
it like
Peter.
Doc Ock.
Oh.
Hello, Peter.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, continue.
Okay. Jesus, Ari, don't scare me like that. What do you want? They are so bad at punctuation. Sorry.
Also, how did she scare him? She just called him.
Who knows?
Hello, Peter.
He was annoyed at her because she was interrupting his Taco Bell breakfast time.
Gosh.
I met a man and he is 10 times better than you.
Better.
Than you ever were in bed. And he even let me use the magic wand on him. She felt so proud that she told Pete and hoped it made him feel bad. You called me just to tell me that? Or are you going to call me every time you have sex with someone who you think is better than me? He was annoyed. She chose her next words carefully. Then she spoke. Yes, and? Toby continued.
Tobe continued?
Tobe continued? Oh dear. That was horrible. That was really, really bad.
Now that we've read both of them, now you have to... Initially, you thought that I was the writer of the Ariana Grande one. Now, after reading them, how do you feel? What's your final answer?
Switching sides.
Are you?
Yeah.
Because of Chicago?
I mean, it's in Chicago.
I wrote the Ariana Grande one.
You did?
I did.
Did it actually say Chicago?
It actually said Chicago. I thought you might know this because Drew and Danny actually read that fan fiction on one of their YouTube videos together before. So I was worried you would notice.
No.
So I did change a couple things in that one. Curtis wasn't originally in it. They just had some random neighbor named Jackie who was just like a random person. And I changed that to Curtis. And then I forgot that I made this change until we were reading it. But when it says they ordered soju, an Asian drink, it originally said sake. But I was like, I think if I switch it to soju, she'll think it's more likely that I wrote this. So I did do that. So that was a little bit of cheating. But
the style
Shigako, I genuinely did not put that in there.
The style of bikini bottoming felt more like you, but I was like, the other one said Shigako. I can't ignore that.
And that 100%, I'm not kidding, was in it. It did say Shigako. That was not me. I didn't change that to fool you. Yeah. But I did do something to fool you.
So stupid.
They both said bikini bottoming.
You just really wanted me to read that one?
No, I did want you to read the one that I wrote, because I felt like if I read my own one, it would be too obvious. Yeah. So that's why I wanted you to read mine. So I did fool you into having to read the one that I wrote. But I have a surprise for you.
What?
House of Gold is not actually over. There were a few more parts, and I cut it out because it was too long. But I figured if we had time in the podcast to finish the whole thing, we could do it. And we've only been recording for like 38 minutes, so I think we could do the rest of it. And I'll read the rest of it.
Oh dear.
I emailed it to myself. Okay. So if you remember where we left off, they just got engaged in the suicide hospital.
Yes.
All right. You thought I wrote that? The suicide hospital?
Oh no, dude. Oh, it's so much longer.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But it gets really good. Okay. I'll read fast. Danny got out of bed where his fiancée was sleeping, and he went into the bathroom. I'm not going to try to read all the typos this time either, because I'm just going to fix things in my head if it needs to be fixed. Then he spotted something in the sink that he guessed Drew forgot. He picked it out of the sink and looked. It had 2 lines and was a pregnancy test.
Oh, God.
Yeah, this is an MPreg fic.
I can't say I'm sorry.
He busted out of the bathroom. Drew!
Busted?
He busted a nut out of the bathroom. Drew, he said, and Drew sleepily got up and then gawked at what was in his hand. What is this? Are you... He looked down, ashamed. I'm going to the doctor tomorrow to check. Please, go with me. They can do a test. He gulped. Okay, in the morning. Next day, I think. They waited in the office of the doctor office until they called Drew's name. They went in, and the doctor came into the checkup room they were in. Are you his husband? Asked the doctor. Danny nodded. Well, that's not true. Well, we have to test his pee, so if you'd step outside... And he did, and went back in after the doctor came out with a cup of pee to test it.
Was the doctor in the room when he peed?
I don't know.
Usually you go to the bathroom and you just take the cup.
I don't know. I didn't write this. Even though you thought I did, I didn't. He sat next to Drew and helped his hand.
What?
I don't know. The doctor came back in and stared at his chart. Well, Mr. Gooden, you're pregnant. And Mr. Gonzalez isn't the father. They both dropped their jaws.
You can't tell that
to be
from
continued. No. And it's also like 2 days later from when he slept with Jake Paul, so... Okay, next part. It was a hot July day and the concert hall was decked in white everywhere. Drew and Danny invited their fans for free to see their wedding, but so many wanted to come that they had to get a concert hall. There was a preacher and a pretty white arch and music playing and food outside. In the room with Drew, he was putting on his white suit and brushing his hair. He got a knock at the door and someone popped in. It was
Wait, so they just ignored the "you're not the father" thing? They just were just like, okay,
just keep listening. It was Ethan and Hyla Klein. I think, is it Hyla or Hilla? I don't remember how to say, she says her name. Hyla.
So.
Ethan Klein he's in the H3 podcast, I think. He's a podcaster.
Right.
Anyway, if I had kept this part in, I would have changed those names too, because that would have been too obvious that I did not write that. But I didn't keep this part in. H31, he said, and they went over to hug him. I'm so excited for you, said Hyla. Thanks. Yeah, it does say hula. Thanks. Ethan, will you walk me down the aisle? My dad doesn't accept I'm gay and won't do it. He started to cry a little. Ethan hugged him. Of course, someone named Ethan would never do that. Of course, buddy. and he out his arm. He put out his arm and he looked it. And they walked slowly out. They stood. This is hard to read when it's not structured. Like, you know how I changed it so there were quotation marks and indentations where they needed to be, so that they both looked the same? It's so much harder to read when it doesn't look like that. Anyway, they looked at the entrance and waited for Danny. First, Jackie came out. Curtis came out to be bridesmaid, and Jenna Marbles did too. They looked so pretty. Then PewDiePie came out with Danny on his arm. They both smiled, and Danny blushed, wearing his baby blue tux. Drew started crying because he loved him so much. The music kept playing, and Jenna Marbles' dogs were in front of them, with little rose petal baskets in their mouths, and petals flew everywhere as they ran up the aisle. Danny... Oh, it's kind of cute. Danny stood across him, and they looked at each other with misty eyes. The priest smiled at them both and started talking. Drew Gooden, do you take Danny Gonzalez to be your husband, to hold and love forever as long as you both live? Drew nodded. Yes, I do. And Danny Gonzalez, do you take Drew Gooden to be your husband, to love and cherish for as long as you live? I do, said Danny. The fans all looked so happy and crying, and Curtis and Jenna and Ethan and Hyla, and I don't know how she says her name. Hyla? So, and PewDiePie all cried happily too. If anyone thinks these two should not be married, speak now.
Oh, no.
And the room got quiet. And the room got quiet, and nobody breathed. Then someone stood up from the crowd and jumped on stage. It was Logan. Logan Paul? Danny said. Yes, I don't think they should get married. He's carrying my baby. I thought Jake Paul was the one that slept with Drew.
Yeah.
He shouted, and the whole room gasped. Drew started crying and wished he was somewhere else. Jake Paul fans started screaming for Logan and Drew to get married. Then Ethan started going...
Jake's fans cheered
Girl, I don't fucking know. Then Ethan started going into Logan to push him away from the stage. Then suddenly, fights started breaking out with all the fans, and Drew and Danny ran away, and the others escorted them. They all got to the limo and drove off fast. Danny, Drew, come out here. This is another part. Ethan and Hyla and Jenny and Curtis and PewDiePie were outside. This is a random assortment of, like, YouTubers. Were outside the cabin. They were staying in till everything blew over. Danny looked out the window and gasped. Outside was a big talise with I don't know what that is. like a gondola kind of thing, with roses and lots of food on a table, and music started playing. There was balloons, and everyone was wearing dressed up. No way, they went outside. What is this? They both asked, blushing. We felt bad about what happened, so we made you a nice private wedding with just us, said Jackie with a big smile. Oh, sorry, said Curtis with a big smile. They all hugged, and Ethan said, I can marry you. I do Jewish weddings, but I can still count for you, he said. Okay.
All right.
Then Danny put out his hand and Drew took it. Shall we? He nodded and took his hand. He led him to the roses and Ethan stood in between them. Now, Drew Gooden, do you take Danny Gonzalez to be your husband? Will you love and cherish him in sickness and health? I do, he said softly, and Danny Gonzalez, blah, blah, blah. You'll be poor and riches, blah, blah, blah. They both get married, okay. Ethan smiled. First, Drew. Yes, babe. I want you to know, I want to adopt the baby. Drew had happy tears in his eyes, and Ethan said, I now pronouns you, man and husband. And they fell into a kiss. The end.
Wow, that was ass.
Yeah, but I can't believe I did it. I actually fooled you.
Good job.
Let's go. I want to do another episode sometime where it's your turn to write a fanfiction.
I don't have the energy for that shit.
It didn't take me that long, to be honest.
Ugh, I don't want to.
The nice thing about writing a shitty fanfiction is you don't even have to think about what happens next or anything. Just type whatever comes to your head. That's literally what I did. I wrote this in like 15, 20 minutes. I just started typing whatever I could think of. Anyway, so for all the people playing along at home, were you able to guess it? Did you know which one was mine? I think if it weren't for Shigako, I think you would have guessed it correctly.
Yeah, I think I would have too.
Yeah.
It said Shigako.
Well, okay, what's funny is when I was doing this, while I was writing, I was trying to get inspiration from other fan fictions, similar types of mistakes they make, grammar things, like way they phrase stuff. So I was watching YouTube videos while I was writing, and I watched the one that Drew and Danny did where they read their story, the fan fiction about them, and I wasn't paying that close of attention because I was just like typing my story. But then they said, in Shigako, and I was like, wait, I think I should use this one, because that's the perfect thing. Yeah, without that, though, I don't think I did that good of a job. I think it was...
You scratched my back.
Even, like, before you read it, you could tell from who it's about and the title of it.
Yeah.
It just sounds like something I would have made up, Yeah. But you have to admit, my fanfiction was pretty fucking hilarious, right?
It was good.
It was really funny.
I hate that you forced me to read that. But
I know, I'm sorry.
You're like, you picked it. Why is my back so itchy?
Do you have lice?
Why would that be itchy on my back?
Do you have maggots? I've had a really, really weird fear of maggots recently.
That's weird.
I keep thinking about them. Okay, we didn't get any emails, so fuck you guys.
You guys suck.
You all suck. Anyway.
Fuck you all. Goodbye.
Hopefully this episode was better, because our last one, I think, was one of our worst. We literally didn't talk about anything.
And we had to stop it multiple times because your mic wasn't working.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Good thing it was working this time, because we weren't even looking at the recording screen. We wouldn't have known if it went out. So good thing it's still working. Oh my gosh. There's nothing really left for this episode, unless you have something else you want to share.
You want to talk about our weeks? What's been going on? Has anything been going on?
I've been weirdly, freaking out about maggots.
I had a breakdown at my last therapy session. She was like, girl, you have depression.
I started therapy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lauren and I see the same therapist.
We do.
We high-fived. Just now. She's really cool.
She is. She's the nicest.
I love her.
Kind of nothing has been happening, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, neither one of us.
Life's been a bit boring. Work's kind of crappy right now.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Really annoyed. I had to go to a stupid training meeting.
Oh, how did that go?
Sales. It was so boring.
Okay, I told you.
The only thing that it accomplished was, I think I'll try a little bit harder to make sure that I never have to go again.
Did they provide free food at least?
They had crumble cookies.
Oh, boo.
Yeah, I didn't even have any because I don't really like crumble.
When I went, they brought Taco Bell.
Dang.
Because it was Cinco de Mayo.
Well, you're also talking about how, they didn't do it until now because we didn't have a district trainer. It was literally just Evangeline, our district manager, and the CM and AM from Bountiful.
I guess maybe they don't have a district trainer, and I was wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, also, I did this after
have you ever met 4
Remy? Months of working there. No.
Oh, I guess I just name dropped.
Oops. Well, I name dropped Evangeline.
That's true.
Well, we like Evangeline at least. So. No hate.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying anything bad about anyone. I just sometimes when I say people's names, I'm like, oh, maybe they don't want me to say their name on the podcast. But anyway, are you just ripping your nails off over there?
Just the one.
Okay. That's cool. All right, well, we don't really have anything else to say. This episode is going to go up same day we record it because I know people have been wanting this one really bad. Kendall's very excited for this episode. Mia is looking forward to this one very much.
Kendall.
Comment, guys, if you're watching like on the YouTube video or whatever, comment on the video or email us. Because those are the places I'm most likely to see it. Email, I'm more likely to see it. I don't check the YouTube comments very much. But I want to know what your guesses were, if you got it right or not. If you could tell which one I wrote. I really want to know. Anyway, do you have a song you want to recommend? Oh, stop tapping on stuff.
I'm doing ASMR.
I need to pee, so don't do that.
You peed before we started.
Yeah.
Oh, my hair's coming out.
Now I need to pee again.
Clip.
I had a lot of liquid today.
Liquid.
My song recommendation is Never Again by Michelle. They just released a new album recently, and it's
Michelle.
very good. I like Michelle. Fuck you. Yeah. Michelle, Never Again. That's my song rec. Their album is called Glow. I mean, it's an EP, technically. It's not an album, but the whole thing is good.
Okay, mine is Sugar Rush by BB.
BB.
It's very good.
Is that spelled BB?
B-I-B-I.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
It's for the listeners. The dumb.
B-I-B-I. Okay, bye guys. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I think this one's funny. I'm definitely going to listen to this again sometime. Because
I won't. I never listen to any of our episodes.
I always do. I think it's fun. Well, when I die young one day, you're going to enjoy having these and you will listen to them.
If I die young, listen to my podcast.
Okay. How did we start this? It was like, 1, 2, 3.
I just said
4, 5, 6. Okay, then we'll say 7, 8, 9, 10.